Grandma Moses and the artistic representation of American identity. Analyzing four key works by Nicole Spaulding. Anna Marie Robertson Moses was born September 7, 1860, on a farm in Greenwich, New York. She was the third out of 10 children. She attended a one-room school mostly on weekends as she had lack of winter clothing. At 12, she started working as a farmhand. She already had experience because she worked on her parents' farm. She took on housekeeping and cooking jobs for wealthier families to get by. At 27, in 1887, she married a farmer named Thomas Moses. After spending 20 years on a farm in the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, they decided to resettle at a farm in Eagle Bridge, New York. Anna gave birth to 10 children, but only 5 surpassed infancy. To help support her family, she would make homemade goods to sell at the county fair, such as jams, jellies, and embroidery. Thomas passed in 1927 at the New York farm. Anna was 67 at the time. With age came arthritis, and Anna was no longer able to embroider, but she was encouraged to paint. At 78 years old, Anna decided to take up painting. Grandma Moses is known today as a folk artist. She started painting in the 1930s. She is self-taught, and everything she has painted came from her memory. She gave 5 of her paintings to a friend who owned a pharmacy. He put the paintings in the window for display. They sat there for years until one day an art dealer came by and not only bought the 5 paintings from the pharmacy, but he went to her house and bought all the paintings she had. In October of 1940, Anna's paintings were put on display at the Galerie Saint-Estienne in New York City. She attended in her best hat and dress and was eager to meet the folks interested in her art. This is where she became affectionately nicknamed as Grandma Moses. Grandma Moses is known for nostalgic depictions of rural America. Her work is significant as it captures early traditions and daily life as the artist remembers it. Her paintings contribute to both personal and national identity. Grandma Moses has painted over 1,500 works, and in this video we'll touch on 4. This one's called Sugaring Off. The description and analysis depicts maple syrup harvesting. The artistic elements are warm colors, multiple figures, and a nostalgic atmosphere. Identity representation, she highlights community labor and early American work ethic. So my quote, Sugaring Off by Grandma Moses, 1943, is a nice portrayal of traditional maple syrup harvesting in rural America. Catching the Turkey, description and analysis. A playful scene of children chasing turkey before Thanksgiving. Artistic elements, dynamic movement, and expressive figures. Rich texture through visible brushstrokes. Identity representation, she highlights American family traditions and seasonal customs. My quote would be Catching the Turkey by Grandma Moses, 1940s. This is an interesting autumn scene showing family traditions and seasonal change. Apple butter making, description and analysis. A scene of families gathered to make apple butter, an old American tradition. Artistic elements are balanced compositions showing various interactions with warm autumn tones that evoke comfort and nostalgia. Identity representation reflects the importance of community hard work and passing down traditions. The quote, apple butter making by Grandma Moses, 1947, a charming depiction of a community gathering for seasonal food preparation. Over the river to Grandma's house. Depiction and analysis, a snow-covered rural landscape with travelers heading to a family gathering. Artistic element, contrast between the bright snow and the darker trees and the repetitive patterns create a rhythm. Identity representation, captures intergenerational bonds and nostalgia. Caption Over the River to Grandma's House by Grandma Moses. In the 40s or 50s, a nostalgic journey through a snow-covered fields for a welcoming home. Artist's technique and her impact. While she has a folk art style, the flat perspective and lack of shadows create a storytelling effect. She used bright and inviting colors to invoke warmth and nostalgia. Her composition and perspective are simple layouts that focus on daily life rather than realism, again, as she remembered it. How her art shapes national identity. Her themes of Americana with hard work, family, tradition, and nature. She was from New York, so it's local to our area. Contrast to modernism, she rejects abstraction for recognizable uh, scenic imagery. Enduring legacy. Her work is still used to represent early 20th century rural life, and her works can be found on Hallmark cards. Again, she was in her 80s when she made this contract with Hallmark. In her 80s. Grandma Moses' art provides visual archive of American heritage. Her folk art enhances authenticity and emotional connection. The paintings are selected reflect both personal nostalgia and a collection of American identity.